Welcome to the module 4, which talks about product life cycle and particularly with reference to fashion life cycle. Like if I say all human beings are same, you disagree. There are some who are children, there are some who are in the youth stage, there are some who are in the middle aged, there are some who are old, very old and on the verge of death. Likewise, when I say a product, all products are not same. They are at different stages. So, to understand a product, we should also understand where the product is located in the product life cycle stages. So, let us understand the product life cycle, which is a strategic concept. Onkovizet and Shah in 1989 itself drawn an analogy to demonstrate the changes and problems faced by trees and products, wherein a growing tree in the forest has been depicted much like a product that undergoes various stages of sustenance and eventually undergoes decline. Those who survive, however, will not probably do well equally well. It has been further articulated that dominant trees are likely to be more attractive in the forest as they are conspicuous to the people walking in the forest. Similar to the products that perform relatively better than their rivals, thereby becoming unique due to their characteristics. However, as the young saplings turn into mature trees and products get older, the older trees face more problems. Damages due to weather conditions or being cut down for lumber, etc. Some trees do manage to sustain for a certain longer duration, but sooner or later old age does catch up and the health of the tree will deteriorate. A decline stage usually follows with trees and products becoming old, passing on and being replaced by others. This analogy with existence of trees in the forest and sustenance of products in the market demands timely adjustments in the marketing strategies. Further asserted by the authors, failure to anticipate and address these changes could result to premature death of the product. Now let us understand the product life cycle, which is popularly known as PLC in marketing. There are 4 stages that are identified in PLC of a product. They are introduction, growth, maturity and decline. The similar concept applies to the fashion industry. Each fashion product stage is explained in more detail. The product life cycle, if you see the exhibit, it starts with the introduction of the product. The first stage, that's why, talks about the introduction of the products into the market. And here the new fashions take time to gain acceptance. Now, if you see the PLC, it is against the time and sales and profits on the y-axis. So, when you compare the time, some consumers who are more innovative than the majority and are willing to pay higher prices. Hence, the unit costs could potentially still be high due to low sales. However, the high fashion element and growing awareness of the new fashion styles may imply that the consumers are willing to pay high price, resulting to generation of high profits. Emphasis on promotion activities with the primary aim to increase awareness and educate customer as quickly as possible. Here, the size of the market is relatively low and limited. During the growth stage, the competition increases as the fashion styles gain prominence and begin to have wider acceptance from the customers. Sales begin to escalate and new price bands are established rapidly. Although at this stage distribution is still selective and is expected to be diffused soon after. Promotional emphasis is still continued with the focus to gain more acceptance by mass market. The next stage is maturity. At this stage, the fashion has mass appeal. This period is expected to be longest in its life cycle. The competition is intense and prices might begin to fall to appeal to large market and to gain larger market share. Distribution is wide and promotional focus is on strengthening of fashion, which has already received acceptance by the mass market. Decline, the last stage. The style is going out of fashion. Competitors are gradually eliminated as sales and profit are falling increasingly, and retailers are expected to be left over with the unsold and obsolete stocks. Those left may intend to indulge in aggressive advertising, extend distribution, or identify new segment. Thus, if you look again at the PLC and the stages that we have discussed, you will understand that PLC, as discussed, is like how a typical human being's life cycle is. That is Balya, that is childhood, Yavana, that is youth stage, Gruhastha, that is married, and Vanaprastha, that is the old age, which also consists of 4 different stages. Having understood the stages, the marketer has to come out with how to deal with each stage to be successful in terms of marketing. That's why let's understand what a marketer has to do at each stage to manage it better. Let's see stage by stage. Apparel and other consumer products can be classified by the length of their life cycles. Say for example, basic products such as t-shirts, blue jeans, coats, jackets are sold for years with few style changes. Businesses selling basic products can count on a long product life cycle, with the same customers buying multiple units of the same product at once or over time. So, the life cycle curves of basic, fashion and fad products are given. The life cycle for basic and fashion products. The fashion life cycle lasts a shorter time than basic product life cycle. By definition, fashion is a style of the time. A large number of people adopt a style at a particular time. When it is no longer adopted by many, a fashion product life cycle ends. Fashion products have a steep decline once they reach their highest sales. Now, let us come to the fads. What is a fad? Fad has a shortest life cycle. It is typically a style that is adopted by a particular subculture or younger demographic group for a short period of time. Normally, when a movie of a particular star releases, the followers of that star, normally the subculture or the groups, would adopt that fashion, and that will be in vogue till that movie is there. Once the movie changes and a new movie of the same star comes again, a new fad would emerge. When we look at the overall sales of basic products, they are the highest of the three types of products, and their life cycles are generally the longest. Apparel products often have a fashion dimension, even if it is just a color. As fashion features increase in a product, the life cycle will decrease. Therefore, if you are designing a fashion product, you will want to have multiple products in line for introduction as each product's life cycle runs its course. Some firms build their lines to include, that's why, basic, fashion and fashion fad products in order to maximize sales. For example, with a sweater line, a business may have 4 styles that have classic styling and colors and are always in the line. The 4 additional styles may be modified every 2 years to include silhouette, length and collar changes based on the current fashion. 1 or 2 short cycle fashion or fad styles based on breaking trends may be introduced once or twice a year. So, styles that a popular celebrity or a sports hero is wearing are examples of fashion and fad styles. We can also look at the number of fashion products adopters against time. There are 5 types of consumers emerge at each of the life cycle stages. The fashion adoption consumer types, looking at the diagram, are. Now let us discuss the fashion adoption consumer types. Different marketing strategies should be used to reach each of these consumer types. When we look at the chart, the first one are fashion innovators at the introduction stage. The fashion innovators adopt a new product first. They are interested in innovative and unique features. Marketing and promotion should emphasize the newness and distinctive features of the product. The fashion opinion leaders, that is celebrities, magazines, early adopters, are the next most likely adopters of a fashion product. They copy the fashion innovators and change the product into a popular style. The product is produced by more companies and is sold at more retail outlets. At the peak of its popularity, a fashion product is adopted by the masses. Marketing is through mass merchandisers and advertising is to broaden the audiences. As its popularity fades, the fashion product is often marked for clearance. To invite the bargain hunters and consumers, the late adopters and laggards who are slow to recognize and adopt a fashionable style. So, overall, when we analyze the adopter categories, the first category are innovators. There are certain traits. So, we have to see when we are marketing the products, what type of the category are there at each of the PLC. Normally, at introduction stage, the innovators are those who are having different demographic characteristics. Normally, they are young with high disposable income, with good knowledge and education, who are normally IT savvy, who are normally in big cities and with lot of exposure to the information. And the innovators are normally opinion leaders, and they get information, they are experimentative, they are risk takers, they are venturesome, they are less dogmatic, and they are with open mind. So, whenever a marketer is introducing the product into the market, they must look for innovators. How many people in that market segment are innovators? Depending upon that, the number of products introduction is dependent. When a survey is made in US, they found out that 4% of US population are innovators. So, looking at the society and also the openness for new products, that is the reason why in America new products are introduced more and they are more likely to be successful. The innovators are followed by the early majority. These are the people who would pick the product at the growth stage and leads given by the innovators and would popularize. That's why the sales increase during the growth stage. And they are driven, unlike innovators, by advertising, reassurance, and they follow the trends set by innovators. The next, in the growth stage, the late majority are the people who would adopt the fashions that the early majority have taken over. And normally, the percentage of population who are late majority would be around 34% as in US. So, majority of the population lies in the late majority or in the laggards. Hence, lot of sales happen during the maturity period. And also, there are deal hunters who look for bargains, discounts during the decline stage. Hence, going by the adopter categories, at each of the PLC, a marketer has to devise his strategies. Now, having understood the PLC, let us understand the small nuances of fashion and some of the fashion life cycles of certain important terms like style. As you can see, style is the most unpredictable trend of the three. A style has a cycle that it runs through that show a mix of increased and decreased sales over time. The longest lasting trend, style can be related to almost any product. So, when it comes to food, P.F. Chang's combined Chinese and American style CPK's California with a twist style, and BJ's authentic brew house style. So you can change the styles and mix and can make it a unique style, and it can last for long. When it comes to fashion, as opposed to style, fashion is a more steady progression of a trend. Fashion starts out, increases steadily, plateaus, and then decreases proportionately to a decline. Now, when the word fashion is thrown out there, most people think of clothing, as I said earlier. Applying the fashion category trend to the fashion world itself is the easiest way for me, as I am currently starting my own fashion blog. An example of a current trend in fashion this season is chancy jewelry, as well as a rough military style with lots of camouflage patterns and flak jackets. These trends arose slowly from celebrities and designers and have now trickled down to lower end everyday fashion designers, which will soon lead to the decline of the trend. The fads. Fads are the most unreliable trends, as they have a quick rise, peak and steep decline in all a short period of time. Fads are usually driven by consumer support and immediate brand popularity. A fad can characterize an entire product's life cycle or even a part of normal product life cycle. An example of a fad that I can most identify with is the cupcake industry fad. Although companies like Sprinkles saw great success with the solely cupcake based bakery idea, the fad that followed was littered with copycats. Thousands of bakeries devoted to serving only cupcakes arose and quickly faded away as the fad declined and a new fad arose. You have come to the end of this module. In the next module, you will learn about the new product development process.